What's up, my task gown 2488 Neo Hippies? I'm Paige Anderson, and today we're here because your man has realized that I suck at YouTube. I suck at YouTube production, and I suck at a lot of other things that this new way of getting down offers. First things first, I got fired off of a gig. Guys called me up, and they're like, hey, P, we need you to come by, bring your guitar, because we need some of that funk that you got, blah, blah, blah. I'm like, cool, I can do that. I go by, and they've gotten like a 4-bar loop from Splice or Serato, which those two places have some really good stuff. And someone put some drums under, right? And I come in and I put that on there. And I also brought my bass. Put a little bass on there. And I'm looking at this and I'm like, why don't we stretch this past 4 bars and let's really get down? Well, the client doesn't hear me because I'm trying to keep the whole etiquette thing, going. Hey, you brought me in here, so I'm going to mention this to you because you are running the show. But look, why don't we copy this and make a new project and let's really go in. Everybody's looking at me weird. So they all go take a break. They go to like Taco Bell or something, get something to eat, whatever. And I did exactly what I said. I made a copy and I started a new project and I stretched those 4 bars out to 8. I put in some real instrumentation and even that loop, I had enough time because they took like an hour and something to get their food and come back. I stretched that out and I got rid of the loop and I actually just played something similar to the loop, slowed it down because I see that obviously that's what you guys wanted to do. So you slow it down and you add a lot of reverb and, lo-fi texture. I did the whole thing and I made it a full song. I did the hook area, then I took things out and added some new texture in the 8 to 16 bar area for them to rap over, and then brought the hook back in. It did the second verse and then the third verse and, something different. And when they got back, I'm playing what I have because I'm adding some more tracks. And the client is like, yeah, that's what I'm talking about. Yeah, man, let's do that. And he starts to rapping. He starts to pen and paper, getting things done, and we get a song finished. I'm looking over to the right, and I'm noticing the 2 cats who pulled me in are gathering their money together so that they can pay me and get me the hell out of here because I don't go nowhere without my money. And I go over there because I know what's going to happen. This is not the first time that this has happened to me, but I've kind of thought these cats really wanted my help. And, for me, you can have complete control of what's going on here. Just use me again. Well, they paid me and offered me to leave once the guy finished doing his rap and they got their little mix together. And this guy's like, hey, man, I got to get your number. I got to get this. And just because I knew what was going on, that's their well. Their guy, they want to make sure he keeps going to them for their music. And he's not my well. All right. So I'm like, yeah, talk to your boys and I'll holler at you, blah, blah, blah. I leave. I realized from the conversation later that I'm just not fit for the new world of production. Like, I'm an apex predator. When I start, I go until I can't go anymore. And typically that means that this is going to be a finished piece of music, instrumental for somebody to rap or sing over, or I'm going to go ahead and write the rap the hook, the singing part, everything. I'm going to do it all. If I'm working on a song, I'm going to write all the lyrics. Well, not write them, but I'll sing all the lyrics onto the track and, send it over to my copyright and, get the whole thing done, because that's what I'm used to. I'm used to starting and finishing. The other day I tried to do a live and I was sitting there and I'm like, I'm just not a 5-minute beat person. I'm just not a person who does can get a beat done in 5 minutes. Really, I don't like when people say that, because it cheapens what we do as music creators. We put a lot of time into learning how to play an instrument or how to use FL Studio or whatever DAW you are using, because you want to master it so that you can be more proficient with the unit and get things done efficiently. Well, just because you have the ability to, in many cases, knock something out relatively quickly, you should not be promoting that, because when you promote that, then people try to charge you by the hour. You know what I'm saying? Well, if it only took you 5 minutes, then what is your charge? If you're charging $200 an hour, then, it only took you 5 minutes, so I can pay you what 5 minutes would amount to, because that's how people think. I never tell anybody I can get things done in 5 minutes, because I really can't. Once I finish playing everything from start to finish, or sampling everything, however I'm going to do it, that's way more time than 5 minutes. And I'm not going to play myself that I can get things done in 5 minutes. There's been some lucky stretches where 15 minutes and that was just enough, but no, not 5 minutes, and that's the reason why I suck at YouTube and YouTube production and just production with people. I suck at production because I just don't think you mix vocals. You mix the whole song. Vocals happen to be in there. You know what I mean? I've watched cats in the studio and on YouTube go ahead and do all the treatment you can do to a vocal, and then turn the rest of the tracks on and the vocals get lost, because you got other things there. You can't just mix everything in solo and think that I got a perfect mix here and now let's add the music, because truthfully, in a song that has a singer in it, the star is the singer, the snare drum, the kick drum, and the bass. The bass should be felt, the kick should be heard, the snare should be heard, and the vocal should be heard. You know what I'm saying? So, it's a thing. Everything else around there is padded to make the thing beautiful. But really, if it's a groove song, people came for that kick and that snare. They didn't come for, that ping pong pad that you have in there. Nobody came for that. It came, in the bass. You know what I'm saying? Nobody came for nobody came for that. The other thing is this. I suck because I just can't purchase a piece of gear because it's new, do a video on it, and then be on the next thing. When I get a piece of gear, just like everything else, I'm going to use it. I'm going to use it and use it and use it and use it. I'm going to find new ways to use it. Look, the Verse Lab. I can't even sell it now because now I can do this with it. You know what I'm saying? And then I still like using the thing. I still like, hooking it up and seeing where I can go with it from time to time, And of course, it's a fabulous module. And it's a pretty good sampler. So, it's like I have other uses for this. Same thing with everything I get. It's complicated for me to play the game, because I really want to show you how to use this stuff. So I'll mess up a good run of videos just trying to show you how to use it for real so that you can really play with the doggone thing and make some music with it. A lot of people jam. I never liked jamming. I never liked just sitting there with a 4-bar loop and, going almost nowhere with it, because once you do that, once you get used to hearing those 4 bars, you can't see yourself past them. I've watched a lot of cats that I just hang out with, sit down and jam. I go and hang out with people. Even my brother, go and hang out, listen to what they're doing, and I noticed that you get 4 bars and you get laser focused on them. And you can never take it anywhere else. You can never move anywhere else. I'm not saying that every piece of music I do has, verse, bridge, chorus. Sometimes it's, that first part, 8 bars, a lot of stuff there, and then I take things out, make 8 or 16 bars, and then I put all that stuff back in, and I make the 3 verses, and I move on. And you can do that with a 4-bar loop. You can double the loop, make it 8 bars, and then take some stuff out for 8 bars so you can sing, and then put that stuff back in, and then, you can make it happen. A lot of people get angry with me when I come in saying, hey, let's build on our imagination, and let's really throw the kitchen sink in here and take things out as we need. If it's too much, let's overproduce it, and then let's start stripping stuff back. But that's the reason why your man sucks at this whole YouTube production and like being a YouTuber. I actually like helping people learn how to use stuff. When I came on doing the stuff with the Tascam, I came on doing stuff with the Tascam because I really want to help people. If you got the unit and I have it, and I know how I'm using it. So, hey, look, these are some new ways you can use this thing. Maybe you didn't think about this. Maybe you were thinking about this. I had one comment from someone saying, yeah, man, you need a hotter level than that. And I was like, well, on the Tascam at least. I was like, go with the nominal, the 16, negative 16, because you see that there. Now, if you peek past it a little bit, that's fine too, but negative 16 is good because in the end, you're going to need headroom. And if you're hitting everything at 0, at the end, when you're mixing this down, you're going to have some problems. I know because I've done it. When I first got the unit, I was on it just like someone who was recording on tape. 8-at tape, 1-inch tape, half-inch tape, 2-inch tape, quarter-inch tape, cassette tape. I have recorded. So I know you got to hit it hard. But when I got on the Tascam, I was hitting it hard, realizing that I didn't have to. Because at the end, I'm trying to mix this down and I have 0 headroom. Then I started some other things where, okay, well, I'm just going to go negative 16. And then I started doing things like, okay, well, look, the lead lines, I'm going to hit them harder, closer to negative 5. But pads, background vocals, things that have to be in the background, I'm going to hit those at negative 16, and I'll just boost them as needed. I really want to help someone. I really want to help people. And I suck because I just can't do a video and explain a little bit and walk away like that's fine. I have, it's almost a must for me to go in and actually know that you know how to do what I'm trying to show you. Because I want you to be able to use me as a launch pad. Not somebody that you need or have to have around, but a launch pad. Like, just like the guys who fired me. I was fine with that because I still got paid. And the idea is they called me back. But when they called me back, they had stipulations, It was like, look, bro, if we leave, because I know you like to work kind of by yourself, if we leave, when we come back, just turn it off. Let us hear what you're doing first. And then, get our stamp of approval. And then let the client go ahead and do their thing, because we want to work with you because you're creative. I'm not stroking myself, but, I understood. You don't want to be shown up. And I wasn't trying to show you up. I was just knowing that there was more than that sample. Sometimes, see, look, I'm going off right now. Sometimes you can have the sample And that sample could actually be your foundation, your launch point. And after a while, you start putting so much more instrumentation over that sample that you can strip the sample out of there and use all that you had. And anything that sample had in it, you can create it. Because most of the times, we think cool stuff is just stuff that's slowed down or sped up. So, what's stopping you from speeding something up or slowing it down yourself? What stops you from doing that? That's the main reason why I like the MPC. Because I know that in another week or so, they're going to have lo-fi and a few other things on there that's going to make it even more better for me to use it. The things that I have around me, I have them around me because I use them. I use them. It's complicated for me to get something and not find a use for it. It's sort of like the JDXI. I still have it. I didn't sell it. I still have it. My son uses it more than I do, but I still have it, and I still know how to use it, and I know how to get things done with it. I just didn't understand why for $4.99 you're gonna come with a piece of hardware that is that limited. That was the biggest problem that I had with that unit. But anyway, this is my podcast of talking about why I suck at YouTube, because really, I don't like to mislead people. I like to get in, use a thing, and even if it doesn't tickle my fancy, I will tell you things that it can do and is good at doing. Like this Verse Lab. I'm running the microphone into it, and I am using the effects so that I can compress and de-ess and you know, use it as a good podcasting mic preamp. I have a R24 by Zoom. I'm not limited to one way of working. Like I use the Tascam, I use the R24, I have a Tascam DP32, I have Logic up there, or it was on. I have FL Studio. I have everything that you could think of to use to get something done, and I get things done. I sometimes when I'm doing this YouTube thing, I get a little confused because it's supposed to happen fast. And let me tell you something, man. I really love making music. I really love making music. I really have a thing for those sticks, strings, and black and white things. You know what I'm saying? I have a thing for bars and beats. That's my thing. Some people, like money, and some people like, horn and stuff. I like making music. I like making music. Making music is my girlfriend, my old lady and stuff. I like making music. I like the whole idea of I had nothing and then I have this whole piece here and I'm happy with it and I can't wait to hear what the next thing is. Especially when I'm on a roll where I got a full way of working and I just start working. I just start knocking things out because I'm more inundated with music than I am with, having beat block or whatever you call it, creative block. I always have something to work on, so I wouldn't even notice if I did have any kind of blocks because I always have something to work on. I never not finish something. So let's say I got a lot of half of pieces of things in my head. What I'll do is I'll grab my guitar and I'll let a track go and I'll play everything that I have. Let that track go and then I'll go back and pick the things that I think I can get finished. And I'll start finishing those things, and as I go through it, I'll go back to that one track and I'll start finishing just about everything that's there. Sometimes it's stuff that I will finish, lyrics and all of that, and then there's sometimes it's things that are just instrumentals, and I know that that's something that I need to sell to somebody because somebody else is supposed to make the lyrics and the whole melody and make the whole song jump. That's the reason why I suck at this, because I just can't put 4 bars up and be like, yeah. So if you ever see me up here on a live, it's probably going to be a 3-hour one because I'm going to show you me messing up. Because I think people need to see that. I think people need to see and hear you sing it out of tune. I think people need to see you play and mess up, so that when you're working on your own stuff, you won't feel so embarrassed when you messed up. You won't feel crazy because you couldn't get it done in 5 minutes. You realize that sometimes you're lucky and other times you're not. If a song is 5 minutes, what did you really get done in 5 minutes? You know what I'm saying? You got a 4-bar loop that you swinging around in the circle. You added drums to a sample. Did you actually make anything, or you just added drums to a sample? I'm just saying. But anyway, that's your man. I'll see you on my next video.
It's Paige.
It's Paige.
It's Paige. It's Paige. It's Paige. It's Paige.
It's Paige.